How cool was that? That was pretty cool.
Is more.
What happened to those guys?
You're listening to Chameleon Church, biblical antidotes for the modern man, with your host, Allan Aguirre.
Good morning, Messianic Lamb Radio. It's Tuesday morning, as you know, because you heard that dooba dooba. Anyway, lighting, it's dark. Until that sun breaks or some sort of light comes out of there, I'm going to look a little weird because I don't like all these bright lights behind me. Tuesday morning, welcome. This is the Chameleon Church Show. I'm your host, Allan Aguirre, coming live and direct to you from Park City, Utah. It is October 29th. Yeah, it's the end of October. That means November. This weekend, my wife has her event, First Winter Blast, at the Montage. Ever been to a Montage? There's like half a dozen of them all over the world. It's at the Montage. It's nice. They give us the suite. Yeah, we'll be up pretty high on the hog, as well as at 8,000 feet elevation. It's a little weird sleeping at 8,000 feet elevation. You can't sleep. I don't know what it is, but it's really an awesome establishment facility. I didn't even know I was going to bring this up. But yeah, that's this weekend. We usually get our first snow of the year around the first or second week of November. But so Sunday, we're out and about. We're down in down the mountain. It's like 70, 72. It was a lot cooler up here in the mountain, so we had to wear layers. And so we're like taking clothes off because it was too warm. Living at this elevation, the direct sunlight is warmer than normal, warmer than you would think. So, 72, taking clothes off down the valley, and then woke up yesterday morning, and it's 10 degrees, and we had a little bit of snow. Or did we wake up on Sunday morning with a little bit of snow? I'm not quite sure. But we had some snow, a dusting. No, that was Sunday. We woke up Sunday with a dusting, but it was like 72 during the day. So it was a beautiful day, great day. And then yesterday morning, it's like literally 10 degrees, 11 degrees at 7:30 in the morning. That's a little bit cold. And then, of course, the forecast for the next 2 or 3 days was 7 inches of snow, and it's supposed to be -4 tonight. So, oh yeah, we've got snow. We've got some snow out there. Winter is pounding at my door. So we're gonna get to some business here in a minute, and before I bring in my co-host, I just want to tell you a couple things real quick. So this is my office. And I'm running out of room in my office. It functions as this is where I write my books and I do graphic design and my whatever web work I do. This is my office right here. And on this computer, I do these type of internet things. And it works great for that. But with the book thing, when you start bringing in like mailers and padded envelopes of a couple sizes and boxes, because sometimes I ship stuff out wholesale to resellers, and then you're talking envelopes and then the books themselves. I've pretty much have ran out of room in this office. It's not very big. I love working out of my home. I've been working out of my home for the majority of my life. I love, did you know not everybody can do that? They don't have the discipline to wake up in the morning, get dressed or whatever, and then go downstairs or to another room in their house and actually do business. They can't do that. I love it. And I've been doing it, like I said, the majority of the last 3 or 4 decades, or since the 80s. And I love it. And I just love the fact that I've been able to facilitate, I don't know, whether it's been music or the web or whatever, been able to work a freelance or whatever out of my home. I love it. I love the freedom. I get a lot of stuff done. Anyway, but I've run out of room. And so we've been talking about the other room across the hall, which is almost, I'm going to say, at least twice as big. and it's got big old vaulted ceilings. I've been talking about acquiring that room as well, using that room because see, I start taking over bedrooms. So I have this as my permanent home office, and I love it. It works great for me with what I'm doing. But when it comes to, like I said, shipping, the actual books, all that, I'm running out of room. No, it's not working. But I also do, and because of the size of the room, I'm not able to do a lot of good video. So I've been wanting to do a vidcast for quite a long time, literally a couple, 2 or 3 years, if not longer. And I just, but I really feel the pressure of it over the last year or so because I've got I've got 3 types of Facebook out: the understanding, the how-to, and the workbook. I've got this thing is spiritual. There's reasons for me to do that. But because of the size of the room and the way I have it laid out, it doesn't really work. I don't get the depth of field, which you need, and all that. So we've been talking about creating the bigger room, more than twice as big as this, I think. The bigger room across the hall from me, taking that room over and converting it into the studio. So we're going to do that. So we are doing that. And there's a reason why I'm telling you all this, and why there's a couple things why I'm excited, not just because of that, but anyway. So, look at, we've got people. We're live, huh? Good morning, everyone. So, with that, it's going to serve as 3 purposes. And I made a video about it. And I was going to post it yesterday, but it totally slipped my mind. I didn't post it. But anyway, so last Tuesday when we were talking about what to do, I think it was Desiree. Somebody was saying we want more teaching. So, okay, I want to do more teaching in that video format. So the next room will be the studio. So it's going to function as 3 things. It'll function as a guest room. So we'll have like a futon thing. So it looks like a lounge when you walk in there. And then it's going to function as the video studio. So we have the camera set up on a tripod with the additional audio capturing. So when the camera doesn't capture the audio, so you have more control and it's better audio. So it's all on a tripod with a light. So it's portable because it's on a tripod with wheels. It's on wheels. And so we'll be able to do like 3 or 4 different video sets. Like the main default set will have and so it'll be a video studio and it'll be the recording studio, because I have like a full-blown recording studio and I haven't done any new music since 2011. And if by the chance, if you are interested, Spyglass, my bands Spyglass, Blue, and Scattered Few are available on iTunes. I don't know if you know that, but my prophetic worship band, I need an assistant. And my prophetic worship band, ministrieswalking.net, you can actually go to the website and buy a digital version of our full-length album. Anyway, so I haven't done anything new musically since 2011, and this is the longest stretch I've gone without new music, and it's like frightening. So video studio and recording studio, and function as a guest room with like a futon or something, so it'll look like a lounge just to begin with. And then we'll be able to do new music and create new music, produce it, record it, as well as the video production. So we'll have 4 different like sets. So the default set will have like the recording studio behind me, and then the futon sofa, that's another set. And then a chair with like a table and a lamp, that's another set. And then the 4th set would be actually at the recording studio. So very, very excited about that. But because of the space and all the camera gear, I could wheel it in here into the frame, and all the camera gear, because all of this is going to be set up already. There's the audio, there's the camera. Because it's going to be already set up and always set up, I just need to walk in there, sit down, turn it on, bam, we're on. So it just makes my workflow like that, which is why I already recorded a video, and I'm almost done editing it. Got too busy over the weekend. I didn't, because see, I want to do a weekly vidcast. It'll come out every Monday I'll post it every Monday at 10 a.m. That's a Chameleon Church YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and search Chameleon Church, that's the channel the vidcast will be at. And we can even probably, I'll ask Mark, but we can probably repurpose it or simultaneously add it to Messianic Lamb Radio if he so desires, since everybody's like dropping like flies. Anyway, so I'm very excited about that. So we're like painting, we got color, we got different, we're in the process of setting it up, painting it and all that. So I'm very excited. So while my wife and I were in there assessing everything, this is how it's going to lay out, painting, colors, my wife blurts out, "You have to do a Facebook journal, Facebook devotional by Hanukkah." And hold that thought. Mark.
Yo, Jojo, what be going down?
Yo. So I'm just sharing everybody what's going on. So my wife, so the first, I wanted to bring you into this because I'm sure you have thoughts on it. The first time the concept or the idea of a journal, of a devotional, the first time I had that thought of a devotional was back in June. But my mind processed it as a field manual. Devotionals to me seem girly. That's something girls use or women use. The females, opposite sex use. I'm not trying to be weird. I'm just saying, in my mind, devotionals are more feminine. I've never used a devotional. I've never owned a devotional. I've seen some devotionals, but I've never done devotionals. So I thought field manual. That's what I thought in June. So I've had this thought of now many people have mentioned a devotional or something of the sort on here because we've kind of brought it up a little bit and comments on my social media platforms, blah, 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 blah. But in June was the first time I seriously considered it or thought about it. And I thought field manual. But I haven't been able to shake the idea. And we've talked about a potential devotional to go alongside the Facebook, but I don't want to go backwards. I'm really excited about going forward with the new book, Incorruptible. My writing schedule begins in November because winter's here, and so I write in the winter because I don't have to leave the house.
I don't see any winter.
Are you seeing bikinis out there?
Yeah, a few. Yeah.
Yeah. See, not here. So, right. And so, I mean, and I haven't been able to shake that. So do I do a Facebook devotional? Do I do a devotional for Incorruptible, the new book? Now, there's another book that's on my list to write. It's about, and we've talked about it on here. It's about the role of the man or husband as the royal priest, as a priest, the priesthood holder. Ooh, that's an LDS term, but not interesting. But it's a term. So the role of a man or a husband as royal priest or the priest of his home, that is something I'm gonna definitely write about, and that would definitely need a devotional to go with it. And so anyway, but when she it was literally a prophetic utterance, and the reason why I use that terminology is because when she said, "Oh," it was like we're talking about painting in the room, and then she goes, "Oh, by the way, you got to do a devotional on the Facebook by Hanukkah, in time for Hanukkah." I felt it. It was like my spirit bore witness with it, and it grabbed it and captured it, and I saw like a whole vision for it, and I went, "Oh my gosh, that's a great idea," as if it had never been brought up or as if it's never been thought of. But that's not the case. But it was different. It was a prophetic utterance, and my spirit bore witness. We captured the vision of it and saw it. We were able to see into the future, regarding it. And I was like, "Oh, man, that's a great idea." And so that's all I've been concentrating on since she said that. And she said that Thursday or Friday. It was rad, man. But see, it ties in with the stuff we were talking about last weekend. I think it was Desiree that was mentioning more teaching. And I'm like, okay, I want to do that, but I want to do it with the video and now with this devotional. So check this out. This is what we got going on with this devotional. So we're calling it The Amazing Journey from Exodus to Ingathering, right? That's what we're calling it. Exodus being and if you read the feast book, you saw where we talked about this whole thing, the marriage supper of the Lamb, our future, our tomorrow, our prophetic tomorrow from Revelation actually begins with the Exodus. And it's almost the same terminology when God says, I'm going to make, I'm doing this. I want to make you my people. I will be your God. You will be my people. And it's almost the same terminology he uses that's used in Revelation. So this journey from Exodus, right, being delivered, Messiah, to the bridegroom, Feast of the Lamb, Tabernacles, that whole journey started in the Exodus of Egypt all the way to our tomorrow. That's in Revelation. So that's what we're calling it. So, but this is a standalone publication. This is a standalone work. It's not just a companion piece to the feast book. You can do this devotional without having the feast book. It's totally standalone. So here's why it's standalone. So not only is it a devotional, but it's also a calendar. So when the feast book first initially came out, we provided a calendar resource, a PDF for that feast year. Last feast season, or the one that just ended, we weren't able to get a calendar out in time. I was just too busy. I was too busy writing This Thing Is Spiritual. I was too busy traveling. I just couldn't do it. And so most people went to the Chameleon Church Facebook page to interact with us regarding the new moon and the feast dates. Well, we've been talking about we have to get a calendar out for this year for sure. And then we've even talked about printing it. Well, guess what? It's in here. It's going to be in this. So we're doing a 52-week devotional / calendar. And since we can't necessarily anchor it based on the Rosh Chodesh, based on the new moon, because, well, do we do conjunction? Do we do visible crescent? Is it visible crescent Jerusalem? Is it, we discuss that in the feast book. We can't nail that date down, right? Because if you got your conjunction, it's either going to be within 2 to 3 days. Which day is it? And that's just too open-ended. And so so instead of basing this on the new moon calendar, we're basing this on the Sabbaths. So it's a 52-week devotional / calendar based on the weekly Sabbath, because that is more of an anchoring point, right? So we're starting with the Sabbath of March 26th, I think it is, 2020. It's the Sabbath that launches the month of Abib. So it's the Sabbath right around where the month of Abib would start. And then at that point, then we're looking at the Hillel calendar, the fixed traditional Jewish calendar, as our second quote anchor, because it's a common denominator, right? Every one of us, if you're doing anything Messianic, that calendar is in your vista. It's in your peripheral. It's in your visual, right? You may not necessarily use it because you're using the crescent like we do, but it's there. So we're anchoring this calendar with the Sabbath, and this is something that's what I believe, Desiree, which is why we're doing it. So we're anchoring it with the Sabbath, but we have the Hillel calendar as a common denominator, and then of course we're explaining, hey, the new moon should be right. And then, so not only that, but we're all about, if you know anything about this show, if you know anything about me, if you know anything about what I've written, we're all about activation. And this is where the Desiree piece comes in regarding teaching. We're all about activation. This serves, right, because the feast book was designed to equip. Well, this is going to be designed to equip. And this is why this is a standalone publication and not just a companion piece of the feast. It's a devotional. It's got a calendar, but not only that, there's a journaling section for activation. And we've broken that journal piece into 4 sections: acknowledgement, agreement, alignment, assessment. Acknowledgement, agreement, alignment, assessment. Here's why. So one thing we know for a fact, my wife and I know for a fact, unless there's agreement with the prophetic, it doesn't happen. It won't come to pass. It's just being in agreement with the prophetic, right, with the Spirit of God, the prophetic Spirit of God, because the testimony of Jesus is prophecy. Being in agreement is everything. It's the catalyst for the prophetic to actually come to pass. Without that agreement, it's either you lose it or it slips through your fingers, or it just like disappears or floats away in spiritual cyberspace. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know how many? Here's what I mean by that. How many of you can attest to this or knowing about this? A prophetic word is spoken over somebody you know, but nothing happens. Nothing is done. And 20, 30, 40 years go by and it never comes to pass. Here's an example. So I remember being told by a woman who was well in her 30s, going on 40. When I was 16 years old, the Lord told me I was going to be the next Amy Grant. And I was like, okay, because she wasn't a professional musician. She was nothing. But she said, yeah, the Lord told me when I was 16, I was going to be the next Amy Grant. And I go, okay. So in my mind, I'm thinking one of two things. One, you didn't hear from the Lord. Or two, you heard from the Lord and you dropped the ball. Either way, it's not good. Because, right, it's not good if you didn't hear from the Lord, but you think you heard from the Lord. That's never good. And it's not good if the Lord did speak and you did nothing to make that word come to pass. That's just as bad, if not worse. So either way, this woman screwed up. Which one is it? So I asked her, I go, well, so what happened with that? She goes, nothing happened. I ended up getting married and I had kids and and I'm like, no, I don't know. Because I'm married and I had kids and I was still doing it. Everyone makes an excuse for not being who they are. I have no tolerance for that. I don't understand that. So anyway, it's all about activation. So there has to be agreement. So here's the journal aspect of it. Acknowledgement. We have to acknowledge. There has to be acknowledgement of whatever it is God's doing, God's saying, what's happening. For example, Jeremiah prophesies Babylonian captivity for 70 years. Daniel has to unlock that. He has to figure out, oh, I'm reading Jeremiah, and guess what Jeremiah says? I should be out of here in about 3 months or whatever, right? But it took one prophet to speak this word, but it took another prophet to be able to read the word of God, Jeremiah, acknowledge Jeremiah's prophetic. Oh, look, ding, light bulb goes off. That's the acknowledgement. Oh, look, there's a prophetic word here regarding me, right? Because Cyrus was mentioned 120 years before Cyrus existed. Just like Josiah was mentioned 300 plus years by the man of God with Jeroboam in that scenario. Right? Josiah was mentioned 300 plus years before he existed. Well, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Cyrus is mentioned like 120 years, I believe it is, before he even comes into play. But Jeremiah writes about their Babylonian captivity. Daniel is the one that reads it and goes, oh, look, he acknowledges. There's acknowledgement. Oh, look, a prophetic word is spoken about me in my time. So the journaling part starts with the acknowledgement. Then there has to be agreement. Okay, I agree with this word of God. We will be out of here at the end of 70 years, right? And that's what he did. He made agreement with the prophetic word of Jeremiah. He acknowledged it, made agreement, and realized we're going to be out of here. And Daniel's the one that said, hey, we're going to be out of here. Then alignment. Then he has to align with that prophetic word. In the same way, Isaiah, Cyrus, acknowledgement, agreement, but then there's the alignment with Ezra and Nehemiah. There's your alignment. Your prophetic alignment with Cyrus is Ezra and Nehemiah. Hey, because they come up. Hey, did you know you're mentioned in our Bible, Cyrus? Did you know that your name comes up? Like, how long ago before you were even born? And then he's like, whoa, what do you need from me? Well, we need you to let us go. We needed you to let us go and pay and pay for the wall. Oh, okay. And that's what happens. In the same way, there has to be acknowledgement. Oh, God spoke. There has to be agreement. We agree with that word of God, like I was agreeing with my wife Thursday or Friday in the empty studio room. And then there has to be alignment. You have to do what needs to be done in order for that word to come to pass. Alignment. That's the make it or break it. And then there's assessment. That's we're using the word assessment because it's an A word with, right? Acknowledgement, agreement, alignment. Assessment. That's your reflection. That's your meditation. That's your, okay, we're assessing what God has done, what God is doing, and my cooperation or my involvement with it. So this is called The Amazing Journey from Exodus to Ingathering. If you go to Facebook, do a search on Exodus and Ingathering, and you'll find the page for this book that we're doing. It's going to be a 52-week devotional / calendar / journal. And I am so excited about it. So I've already started. I've already started on the week one. I'm doing everything, and it's going to be with a spiral bound, so it'll lay flat. It's going to be, same digest size, same size as the regular books, but with the spiral. There's going to be a place for you to like I said, to journal and everything. I am so excited about this. I mean, I can't believe how excited I am about it. But then again, this has been in the works since June. It's like in the spirit realm, dude. In the beginning of October, I don't know anything about devotionals. Remember, I think devotionals. I think girls. I'm thinking field manual. So there is going to be that field manual aspect to it. Desiree, I think, mentioned that would be a good idea. Yeah. So, but since I don't know anything about devotionals, I actually downloaded a guide on how to write a devotional like a month ago. This was something I was going to do. It's just like, and then finally, boom, and there it is. But I'm so excited about this thing, The Amazing Journey from Exodus to Ingathering, and I'm like excited about it. I can't believe I've talked for half an hour already. What the heck? What do you think about all that?
I think it's great. But if you're starting from Exodus, now what if you could find something like from Joseph to the Exodus that is a teaching that's a preamble to what you're talking about there? So let me just show you something here that there, you recognize that guy at all?
I believe so.
This is, as you'll see up at the top, it says from Joseph to the Exodus, a satellite perspective. And so if you want a teaching on how all that came together, you can actually go on YouTube and watch that and learn something there. And also, there is a 12-book devotional written by some guy by the name of Mark David Smith that is already out. It's a 12-book devotional, and it's literally praying the Psalms.
Oh, nice.
And so, devotionals are not just for women, Alan.
Really not.
I have actually given away more of those books that I've sold simply because we sold so many that we covered all the costs and we just started giving them away. And my question is,
before you ask the question, let me. So this devotional. So this is going to start with the week. It's 52 week. Week 1 is right for the month of Abib, because it is kind of, we are following a feast pattern, right? Loosely. But week 1 is going to begin with the Abib. We have, you have your scripture, you have we throw in the Torah portions. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff going on here. But so I start the devotional off with, do you ever get the feeling that you're serving someone else's agenda? I'm not going to read the whole paragraph. The next paragraph says, Joseph, the boy with the coat of many colors, his reward for sharing a couple of prophetic dreams with his brothers was to be thrown into a pit and then sold into slavery, to Ishmaelites no less. How was that a part of God's plan? So there's Joseph. And then we talk about I'm not even going to tell you the main passage we discuss out of Genesis, but it involves, right? And it says here, Egypt is going to be blessed by Abram's descendant, Joseph. You know, that kid with the cool coat that was sold into slavery. So, yeah, I already do that, Mark.
Hey.
No.
You and I are on the same.
You know why? Because we're not wearing our tinfoil hats. So
Oh, is that well? Because when we wear the tinfoil hats, we don't really align.
Look, I'm doing something here.
Mm-hmm. A while ago, you were like doing this, and I thought you were.
I was doing this, and you went like that, and then you went like that, and I already got that.
I was sure I was receiving something. Now, let me ask you something.
So, what's the question
about the all the house and the studio and everything like this? So basically, Christine is okay with having just the kitchen then.
So, you know,
the only room you didn't really mention in your house. So I'm assuming she's okay with this.
Notice how I use the terminology, or I use the phrase taking over rooms. I've been known to take over rooms. Right now, I have one room, the office that I'm in, which I've outgrown, simply with all the pieces regarding the books. You know, like I said, we have boxes that we buy if we have to ship, you know, a dozen books out to a wholesaler. So there's those boxes are in here. You don't want to put stuff in the garage. That's just not ever a smart move. Because you know when you get when like for example Lion Lamb, they buy stuff wholesale. When they get the box, it shouldn't look like the box has been sitting around in a garage somewhere. That's just not good for business. I don't work like that. You think I'm funny?
No, we just always kick our boxes around so they do look like that.
Yeah, no, I'm referencing something that we talked about before the show started.
I got you. The
Joe Pesci thing. Anyway, so I don't know anything about Joe Pesci. That guy's
oh yeah, no,
that guy's on TV. So anyway, so boxes, and the stuff like sometimes you know the bubble padding. I've got padded envelopes because the books are shipped. Individual books are shipped in envelopes. Then you've got I'm expecting 1,300 units today. That's a lot of boxes. 1,300 books today are coming. We're talking feast book, this thing is spiritual, and workbooks. That's a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
I'm tapped out. I'm maxed out. I have to set up the studio. We've been in this new house for 2 years. The recording studio is not set up. My wife is a huge supporter of my music. Obviously, we're still together. What time is it? We're still together. And I can't do new music if I don't have a recording studio set up. The reason why we have a recording studio is so that we're not paying $35, $75, $125 an hour at a recording studio. It takes typically 300 hours to make a 10-song record, but a Ministries Walking album takes 500 to 600 hours. It's just that type of music. That's a lot of money. It's cheaper to actually own the studio, but then you have to set it up somewhere. Well, this room will facilitate that recording studio setup. Now, by setting up the studio, I now open up a big, huge, massive closet downstairs because that's full of studio gear that I don't want also in the garage. It opens up that. It takes a lot of stuff out of the basement, and it'll be set up, right? Because things are in boxes. I got my studio set up in boxes and closet, you know. So it's not like it's everywhere, but it's packed. It's not like you can come over to the house and we can watch a movie in the basement, and you're not like, no, we're not doing that either. There's more kid stuff than there is studio stuff laying around. Let's put it that way. And because I have this need for the video thing, because video, vidcasts, podcasts, all that stuff, those are marketing components to what it is that we're doing. This show, selling books, the music, that's just the way it is. Which is why I've been stressed out about doing a vidcast, because I know it's part of the marketing piece that I haven't been doing properly for the last year. So that'll take care of that. Plus, now we have a nice dedicated guest room as well. See, there's the compromise. My studio will also function as a guest room. See the compromise there? But yes, my I have full permission from my wife to do what I'm doing. Who how else do you do this without permission? You can't do this without permission. Hi, honey. What the heck? So what oh man. I'm just kind of looking at the comments. Here goes the chaos.
Somebody's got to do it.
Awesome. So Rabbi Darryl is out of the loop for at least a month. Jamie is no longer a part of the Chameleon Church show. That it's not my doing, nor is it Mark's doing, but he's no longer going to be on this show. We wish you.
Well, I mean, if you want to find him,
He'll be on Sunday night, right? He's
so Sunday, same time as this, only you know.
Jamie has jumped ship.
Yeah, right.
He's jumped ship. Oh my gosh. And you know, I don't know what's going to happen here in the next 4 or 5 weeks. For all I know, we won't need Darryl. I mean, I don't know. Keeping Up with the Aguirres.
That's the new name of this show.
It's called Keeping Up with the Chameleons. It's true. So, but here's what I do. I have some guests lined up. So I think starting next Tuesday, we will have guests on here. And these are people that I personally know. Some people are from the Now You See TV camp, the Take on the World camp, my world camp, from my reality. Anyway, we're going to have people. Now, here's what's awesome. The people that we're bringing in, that I'll be bringing in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So I've got guests probably for the next 4 to 6 weeks, which is why I'm saying, I don't know what's going to happen. Who knows if Darryl's going to come back? We might not need him. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Need?
What?
We need Darryl.
Oh my gosh. I don't know that. Here's the thing. We have guests. I have guests lined up 4, 5, 6 weeks for the next 4, 5, 6 weeks. Here's what's awesome about these guests. Some of them are flat earth. Some of them are not flat earth. Some of them are Torah keepers. Some of them are not Torah keepers. Some of them are charismatic. Some of them are not charismatic. But the common thread with all of them is that they're godly, they're God-loving, God-fearing, godly believers that I know personally that I would have in my corner, in my foxhole. Then that's all that matters.
I know a couple of godly atheists. Would you like for me to invite them?
No.
No.
The atheist part kind of throws it out. I mean, sure, we can do that, but
Well, my brother is a agnostic and an agnostic. He has a bumper sticker on the back of his truck that says, "God save me from your people."
Yeah, well, yeah.
There's some parts of that I kind of agree with.
Oh no, I agree with that a lot. I've said it on here. I don't hang out with Christians. I avoid Christians at all costs because they don't supplement my lifestyle. They're like, they suck the life out of you. They don't supplement your lifestyle. They take away from it. I hang out with godly men and women that are going to supplement my lifestyle. Does that make sense? I don't hang out with one talent believers. I avoid them at all costs. There's nothing there to work with. I hang out with 2, 3, 4, 5. I hang out with those guys. I hang out with people that are actually,
I hang out with Christians, brother.
I avoid them at all costs.
Well, but there are some good ones out there.
I'm not saying that. So you didn't hear anything I said.
I did hear what you said. It's just you don't happen to know any of those.
No, that's not true. Here's the thing. I use the word Christian, and Christians to me is the term for nominal Christians.
I know what you're saying.
Okay. I hang out with the people that are doing stuff. You know what I mean. I mean,
it's too general of a term, though.
Right. It is, which is why I use it as in such a general term. You know the type of Christian I'm talking about, the one talent believer. They actually don't bring anything to the table. They don't supplement your lifestyle. They don't help. If you want to make $100,000 a year, you don't get advice from people that make $25,000, $35,000, $50,000 a year. They can't teach you how to make 100.
Right.
You hang out with people that make $150,000, $200,000 a year. They can teach you how to make $100,000. See what I'm saying? Well, I want the whole enchilada. I want a large return on my investment. And now we're talking about the parable of the sower. Well, people that hide or bury can't teach me how to do that. That's what I'm talking about. Desiree says Darryl is a great asset of no chaos. I agree. I absolutely agree. But hey, you know what? I'm flying solo. That's why that guy's here.
Good Lord. Is he just flying solo today? Yeah, flying solo today.
No.
Darryl, I'll tell you what. Let's just talk about that.
Oh my gosh. No, that's why you're here, because I'm here by myself.
That's the only reason I'm here, so that you feel at least you have a visual, because you're a visual kind of guy.
I am.
You don't have.
Mark, you just sit there and look pretty.
Well, I am, brother. I have been.
Oh my gosh.
But Darryl's the one that taught me chaos. So
there you go. Well, but here's what I'm trying to say. Here's exactly what I'm saying. I don't know what shape this show is going to take in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Cool.
And that's fair. And I'm gonna go with it. And if that means this show looks different come December than it did 2 months ago, I'm good. I'm not afraid of change, man. I'm not afraid of change at all. So
I'm not either, obviously.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll send you an email, but we're changing the name of the network tomorrow, and I just thought I would let you know.
What's the name of the network to change?
I haven't come up with it yet.
Oh, you're just gonna change it.
Well, yeah, I know how much you like having a different name every week.
Yeah, well, do you want to call it instead of Messianic Lamb Radio, do you want to call it Messianic Chameleon?
Yeah, because we change with everything, so we could be the Messianic Chameleon Network.
Yeah, we adapt to every situation, scenario, economy, environment, and we create the resources necessary for our own success. Damn it.
That is very cool. Would you like to be on the board of directors, Allan? No? Even though we're going to use your name and probably your logo and all of that kind of stuff too.
You can't use my likeness, though. I own my exclusive likeness.
There's no likeness to you. We put up with
nothing,
you, but I don't know about likeness.
There's nothing likable about you, Allan. Well, maybe that's why Darryl and Jamie aren't here anymore. There's a whole group of people out there saying, yeah, Allan can't even keep his own guests, his own hosts. Even his own co-hosts are abandoning him.
Hey, I set aside the next 14 years just to make sure that you're taken care of.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. So anyway, that's what's going on. I gotta
go, no, I'm just joking.
That's what's going on. We're putting together the studio. We're creating a weekly vidcast that'll be over at the Chameleon Church YouTube page. The idea is that it'll come out on Monday. Mondays is when we'll upload new episodes or whatever. We're going to start working on new music. I mean, we have to set up the studio. That takes a little bit of time. Getting new music, and the new book we're writing we're going to put Incorruptible over to the side while we put together the amazing journey from Exodus to Ingathering, a 52-week devotional calendar journal.
Hey, I have an idea. I have an idea here. We can't broadcast to two different Facebook pages at the same time or two different YouTube channels at the same time.
Not with the plan that you have.
What's that?
Not with the plan that you have. I think you have to up the plan, don't you?
Yeah, but you still can't broadcast to
so it's only one YouTube and one Facebook.
Yeah, but even with the other plan, you could go to 5 different social networks at the same time. You just can't double them up on 2 different channels. That's it. So if you want to do it on your Facebook, you said your Facebook or your YouTube?
YouTube. But here's the thing. It's not going to be a live show. It's a pre-recorded.
I get it. Okay.
So it'll just be posted up on the Chameleon Church YouTube, but it can also be repurposed if you'd like and reposted on the Lamb Network as well. But it'll be the same content. It'll be pre-recorded, edited, and all that. Yeah.
Sure, I agree. And we'll be glad to take it and post it and do with it. I can put it in my video editor and do what I want to do with it. And no, I'm just joking. Just look at them eyes, man, them eyebrows.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to put your face over this face? So it'll be me doing my thing.
And then my face will be floating, trying to float with your body.
What's that called? Jabba? That old internet thing?
Those things are great. I love them.
It came out around Christmas. You upload a picture, and it's like elves dancing, but your face going.
No, we're not going to do that.
That's what it's going to be, right?
But here's an idea. If you're going to do a 52-week thing, why not do it in video? Like, for instance, every week create a new video and have that a part of it rather than just audio. I don't know what you were going to do, so maybe you already thought of that.
That's part of the idea as well. The reason we're doing a book versus a video, I think the video will be a companion to the book. The reason why we're doing a book is because people actually do want. People read devotionals and take notes, and there's the journal part too. Right. They want that tangible, old, brick and mortar piece.
So I was just going to try to show you something.
So Maria's here. I got Marie. Allan, I'm going to have to buy your book. I wish that you went more in depth on the root series. Last year we did a 4-part series on the Feast Unlocked book on Root Awakening. It's archived. You can go look at it on their YouTube. And then if you go to chameleonchurch.com, there's the resources. There's a link there for all the YouTube videos that I've done. And unless you're talking about This Thing is Spiritual book. And yes, you need to buy my books. And here's where you can buy them. planetbluemedia.com. So I think my first guest, her name's Kimberly. She's from Ohio. This is next Tuesday. She does this holistic healing stuff. She's highly prophetic. She's a spiritual warrior, man. Just chick is awesome. Kimberly, her and her husband are old punk rockers, which is awesome, which is why we hit it off, I think, besides, I'm just a cool guy and she's a cool girl and he's a cool guy. So anyway, they're old punk rockers like me. And she's in Ohio, and she's the one that facilitates. If you saw anything online about the Take on the World conferences the last couple of years, I do a thing called, the speakers do a thing called Beachside Chat. And so I did my Beachside Chat. She's the one that facilitates that. So Kimberly will be on Go Bucks. What's that? I have no idea what that is. Anyway, so she'll be on next week, Tuesday. And then the week after that, I've known him 12 years now, something like that. My old friend Jeremy Yoder, who also lives in Ohio. Why does everybody live in freaking Ohio? What's up with that? That's so weird. Anyway, Jeremy Yoder, you're welcome, Marie. Jeremy Yoder is he's a prophetic worshiper, worship leader, musician, dear friend of mine. Love him and his family. He'll be on the week after that, and then the week after that, I'll have to let you know because I'm still talking to some people. But it's gonna be pretty cool. Mark's disappeared. Ooh, look at that! I should pop him up in right now. You can see what he's doing. I'm just kidding. I won't do that. So I'm excited to have some guests come in. Ohio. Oh, okay, that's what's going on. Everyone's in Ohio. I think that's weird. So anyway, that's what's going on, and I'm so excited. I'm excited about the studio. I'm excited about the devotional journal calendar thing, the Exodus to Ingathering, and I'm excited about what's going to happen to this show and what how it's developing and progressing. We've been doing this for over 70 weeks. That's a long time. It's a long freaking time.
70 weeks. That sounds like something to do with the tribulation. 70 weeks. Here's my book. This is one of the 12, and it is a guide to praying the Psalms, as you can see there at the top. The one of the 12, it's divided up into categories: praying God's provision, prosperity, refuge, and faithfulness. So there's a list of all the 12 books, and so you could go in, and as you're just going through, you would say you want to pray for refuge. Psalms 48:3 says, "You, Lord, have made yourself known as a haven. The shadow of your wings, Lord, allow me to take refuge and confident until calamities, danger, and destructive storms pass by." So you can just go through the book. You've got all 12 of them. You got praying God's forgiveness, mercy, and love. Healing, sleep, forgiveness, faithfulness, all those things. It's all divided up into categories. You go and you literally are reading the Psalms, but reworded so that they're prayers. That took me 2.5 years to write all those. So, yeah, pretty cool. We've published quite a few. They are not in print anymore, but I'm going to put them online here as a project next year.
Awesome.
Coming to your internet.
Awesome. There you go. You heard it. You heard it here.
That's right. That's right. And let's see. See, thank you so much for opening up your show so that I could advertise all of my product. Be nice if I knew where any of it was. Anyway.
You're welcome. My pleasure. What else can I do for you?
I don't know. What else can I do for you?
Man,
So, we
windy.
got a whole 20 minutes left, and
we gave these people a lot of information this morning. That's a lot of information.
I'm semi proud of it too.
Yeah, good stuff. So it's windy out there, man. It's a winter. It's gonna be cold. It's 23. It's not that bad. It's 23 degrees.
23. Gosh,
It could be worse.
84 here, I think.
So I was selling the book on Amazon end of last year, going into this year, and man, they're brutal, man. They're brutal to work with. The limitations I have as a seller, I mean, it is so one-sided. If they decide that you looked at them wrong, they freeze everything. They freeze your account. They'll hold your money for 3 months. I mean, it's brutal. And so I had a situation with them where they literally sat on thousands of dollars for like 6 months. And I was just like, oh, man. So I don't have an account with Amazon, and I know that's hurting me, but I don't know if I want to deal with that, And you can't data mine any of the information. If you buy through Amazon, I can't talk to you about anything. I can't harvest your email. I can't give you other promotional material. I can't do anything. I literally cannot do anything. It's a huge give and take because I could sell X amount of books on Amazon, but not have any contact, not have any communication, right? Like a mailing list or anything like that. But that's where people do go. They use Amazon as a search engine for books.
Can't you create you already have your own business entity? Can't you go on as that business entity offering products, huh?
I was on Amazon as a business entity. And these are their policies. And
I get it. Okay.
they're so
we did it too.
They're so tight-fisted about it. There's literally, what's it called? Sellers something. There's literally no way to contact any department, any individual, nothing. Sellers Central, I think is what they call it.
Yeah.
They eliminated a Sellers Central everything a couple years ago. So as a seller, I cannot reach out to anybody. There's no one I can talk to. There's no support. There's no phone number. There's no email. There's no. All you can do is give these like send in form emails, and then it's all bots. It's not humans. They're all bots, and based on the bot, will determine it's. I can't do business like that. I don't want to do business like that. I do want to get back on Amazon because I know I'm losing. What's it called? Reach.
Yeah.
But anyway, what can you do?
Well, see, we were back in 2003. So I'm sure things have changed. We did pretty good.
Yeah, it changed. Well, I've sold a good number of units through Amazon, but I have no recourse. There's nothing I can do. If they decide, and so I don't have an account with my account is suspended and I can't reinstate it, and they won't even, I can't talk to anybody. This has been going on for 10 months. And I'm like, hey, hello. There's no one to talk to.
Right. One of my books, I just looked it up. One of my books is still there.
Yeah. Well, you can look up the fees, the how to and understanding. They'll pop up, but it says not,
I get it.
Available. Anyway, I'd love to be back on Amazon. I don't know what to do. I've talked to people that work at Amazon because I know people that work at Amazon and stuff like that, and there's nothing they can do. They're like, there is no support system or network for the sellers. They eliminated that a couple years ago. So I can't talk to anybody. I can't call anybody. I can't email anybody. Nothing. Nothing. Yeah. I've sent. What the heck?
See, there is my book on Amazon. See this image,
and it's available. You can buy it.
It is $4.80.
So do a search. Do a search for The Feast Unlocked. It shows up, but it says we don't know if this title is in stock or whatever nonsense they said. Or there it is. Currently unavailable. Because of them.
Because Allan is currently unavailable. Yeah, I get it. Well, welcome to Amazon.
Oh, anyway, I'd love to be back on there. I wish I was on there.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Sorry about that. Let's get that off there.
Bozos is a demon. Welcome to the B system. What the heck is that?
Hey, Bob. Hey, you're quite the positive person, aren't you? Good.
Why are we talking about Bozo the Clown?
Bozos. I think that's a different entity. Bozos is not Bozo the Clown. And it's a demon. It's the beast system is Bozos.
Okay. Why would anyone just blurt that out without any context? What's going on?
Because it's Bob. Because it's Bob. Talking about Amazon. I guess that's another name for Amazon is Bozos.
I'm glad I'm out of the loop.
Me too.
I don't think I
I'm
have
just
the interest in
old.
being in that loop or being in the know.
I'm just old. You know, it's nice being 65, though.
Is
It's
it?
got all the senior discounts and all that kind of stuff, you know. It's,
Are you in your golden years? Golden years.
go,
Gold.
go pop up. No, but David's in his golden years, that's for sure. I
Why would you
don't know. I feel middle-aged.
so hurtful like that?
What?
Why would you have to say something so hurtful like that?
Why would you take that as being hurtful? I love David Bowie. I don't think that was derogatory at all.
I'm just messing with you.
Well, you're pretty messed up, man. To mess with me when I'm not messing.
Well, part of it is I'm out of coffee. I've had one cup.
Oh, well, go ahead and get some. I'll handle the show while you're gone. Let's see, what else can I bring up in the show? I was going to show my DVD, but I can't seem to find any of them. And I know they're around because we just had them. How long is he going to be gone anyway? Let's see what else I've got in my little book here. Oh, here's another book I published. You look up Talmudim Publishing, you're going to find all of the. I used to publish Brad Scott's books, as a matter of fact, but we had to go a different direction, and so we used to do a whole lot of stuff out there, and so. But we have Talmudim Publishing has, kind of taken it down just to the Lamb Network now, and I've kind of gotten out of a lot of different things. But isn't this a great show? Chameleon Church Show, Allan Aguirre, Ed McMahon here, pretty basically because I'm just here as Desiree. Wow, for what? Hey, I get a new microphone. Pretty cool. I don't have to wear these. Isn't that funny that I got a new microphone and my speakers go out? I get a microphone so I don't have to wear these sneaking headphones anymore. Oh, hello, would be nice, I guess.
What is going on? What is going on here?
What's going on where? Nothing. I'm not here.
So Bob Hall, did you mean to write bezels instead of bozos? I think he made a typo. So what's bezels? Bezels is Spanish for kisses.
And that's what we want to do with Amazon is give it kisses.
Jeff
what?
Bezos.
Why don't we just bring Bob in and let's talk to him?
All right, bring him in. Bring him in. How do you do that?
I don't know. Bob, hey, Bob, send me your email and I'll
I don't know who Bob is. Is that?
I don't know who Bob is either. I know a Bob and I know somebody named Hall, but I don't think it's the same.
Bob, put your email up here and we'll bring you into the show and you can tell us what it is you're talking about. Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's right. We'll bring you on video if you have video.
Maybe he's talking about Jeff Bezos and just doesn't know how to type his name in or something, and he's got two typos and he's trying to cover it up by saying it's a play on words.
You mean like you do?
Come on, Bob, give us your email and we'll throw you on the show and you can explain all this to us.
Well, let's say hi to Allison Terry. I've never seen her name up there before.
Allison says, "Great mug again." She loves my. She likes my Rude Awakening mug.
Bob,
so, I like it too. I like it. I saw they have black ones now, and they haven't mailed me one yet. Oh, Bob! Look at Bob. Where's Bob? What about Bob? What about Bob?
Great movie. Let's talk about that movie. That's a great movie.
Dude, how many years? I'm thinking 35.
Since that movie?
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of the other movie. I'm thinking of Groundhog Day. Yeah, what about Bob? A great movie. So,
yeah,
the Richard Dreyfuss character, that's my uncle. the uncle I went to live in Guatemala with, when he's sitting there, he's wearing his button-down shirt and those really tight shorts, and he's sitting there at his desk like this.
Uh-huh.
That's my uncle.
Really?
Full on. That's my uncle that I lived with in Guatemala. That was the apostle guy. Yeah. So when I first saw him, like, I had a little bit of PTSD. No, I'm just kidding. What about Bob? What about Bob?
Speaking of Bill Murray, did you ever see The Man Who Knew Too Little?
Sounds familiar. Is that when he's like a spy or something?
Well, he went over to England to visit his sister or his brother. It was his birthday, so he surprised his brother, but his brother was real busy with the party and other stuff. So they put Bill Murray on this. It was supposed to be a game. So it's like a game where you
It's like
are a spy.
Right. But it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Except that some real spies
were after
intercepted the game, and or not Bob, but Bill Murray thought the whole time that this is a great game. This is so cool.
His brother was in cahoots with some bad guys over some business deal. Sends Bill Murray to go to a party to get him out of the way.
Yeah,
but ends up. I have seen that.
It's a great movie. I loved it. Oh, Bill Murray did some.
Well, but I also come from the original Saturday Night Live cast era.
Me too.
You know, pre Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah.
Pre 1980.
Yeah.
Bob says he's driving. Oh, no wonder he can't type. Dude, what are you doing? If you're driving,
sailing,
commenting on here, because the next comment we're going to see is, oh my God. Remember, like, Darryl was driving and he kept disappearing?
Yeah.
You know, that was the last time he was on our show.
Oh, it was. It was.
He was driving and then he was cut off.
Yeah, well, I've had him. Me and him did shows. Bob says he's sailing.
Now he says he's sailing, but look above it. He says I'm driving. Bob is on his way to the studio. No, he's not. If he is, he's in for a big surprise. I don't know, Bob. You don't just come over to the studio, not without an invite. All of my buddies, Smith and Weston, they're like waiting at the door for your buttocks.
And we keep the studio address totally in. Nobody knows where it's at, right?
Yep. There's a big tinfoil hat over the studio. It's like Mark, are you gonna get? Oh, yep, he sure is. He turned into a man show. That's an awesome guitar case.
Sure. Come on over, Bob.
Right. That's a great guitar case.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
What kind of guitar do you have in there?
Smith and Wesson. Come on over, Bob.
Turned into a man show. You're gonna make me pull out my guitar, are you?
This is the reason we don't see a lot of Muslim people around.
Oh my God! Did you just say what you said? You're on YouTube. You can't talk like that.
I can't really,
dude. That's a tactical shotgun.
Yeah.
You're like breaking every YouTube gun rule known to me.
Really? Really? I didn't know they had gun rules.
Yeah. You didn't show that it was cleared. You didn't. I mean, you did it all wrong. You pointed it at the camera.
Yeah. Well.
Oh my gosh.
Come on over. Yeah. Come on over to the studio.
Let's regather. Let's gather our thoughts for a second here. No, Desiree, he's off the chain. You didn't see me whip out any guitars.
Devotionals. Now, what was that we were talking about? Devotionals?
We were talking about guitars. Bob Mulder, he's driving, then he's sailing. Oh man.
What Allan has to put up with just to have Mark on his show.
That's awesome. You just busted out a whole full blown thing.
Yeah, I take full responsibility.
Yeah, come on over, Bob, to his house. His house.
Oh, we're in the same studio. We just divide them in half so it looks like we're in.
Well, look, I can actually touch them. Look, watch.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to do this.
Because everything's backwards.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've gone downhill with 3 minutes left. Hey, we almost did. Those last 5 minutes. We are banning you from YouTube because of the last 5 minutes of your life show, the Chameleon Church Show.
Oh, no.
It's cold outside. There's snow out there. Jamie's jumped ship. Darryl is AWOL.
Yeah, that's it. AWOL, that's a good one.
And I'm good with it. Last man standing.
There we go. Good show. I like that one.
We changed the name to Chameleon Church like a year and a half ago. This was my master plan. Field manual, yeah. Keep the chameleons, not the Aguirres. Yeah, I like that field manual idea. Absolutely. So taking the devotional journal part is where I think that field manual idea is going to work in this new publication, Exodus to Ingathering. Yeah. Because, apparently we need... Yeah, so am I, Desiree. Apparently we need... you and I, especially Mark... we want a little bit. I mean, yes, of course, the word is enough, and and I've had people, and this is why I bring it up. I've had people say stuff like, "I don't need your book. I've got the Bible." I'm like, "Well, we don't need your YouTube channel either, dork. We've got the Bible." Well, if that was the case, then we don't need the New Testament because the New Testament are writings on the Scriptures. Right? I mean, the New Testament aren't scripture. The New Testament are writings and teachings on the scripture. Well, apparently they needed it too. There's a reason why Paul was writing letters to his churches. It's not like they didn't have the scriptures. They did. But that's why there's apostles, teachers, pastors, prophets to blow the word up, to expand the word, to apparently humans need that. And it's been going on since the very beginning. So apparently we need that, and somehow this is where I'm at right now. This is what he has me doing right now, and I'm totally excited about it. And what is up with this title? And I'm grateful to be able to do it, and I just want to be a really, really good steward of it. So breaking it down, expanding it, connecting dots. I mean, I know that my approach or the way this works is different than a lot of people, and so I see things differently. I perceive them. I process them differently, and so what comes out is, I mean, think about it, Mark. I mean, how many books on the feast are out there? A gazillion. I mean, I thought when the Lord said. So when the Lord said to do the feast book, I was like, why? There's a gazillion feast books out there. But apparently my style, my perspective, my point of view, the way I approach it is different because it's people have bought it and they've said some really good things about it. So taking a devotional journal.
Same thing. It's even more. How many devotional journals are there out there? And it's like, so you want me to write a devotional? Really?
Yeah.
I've never even read a devotional. What?
Right.
You want me to build an ark? What?
But I'm really excited about it because I know, I mean, I'm looking at the first week devotional piece. It's already different than anything anyone's seen out there or is on the market. So that makes it pretty exciting for me. Because again, how many punk rock bands are there? Yet I was able to do anyway. So I'm excited. I know that what we bring and how we bring it is unlike most people, which is why I think the Rude Awakening stuff works. The stuff we do on that show, because, well, dude, they remember I mentioned last weekend, they brought me in to open up a younger demographic. I'm the same age as, or that's one of the reasons why I'm there. But and I'm all for it. Hell, exploit the hell out of me. I don't care. I'm the same age as a lot of those guys, but because I've worked with that age group, it makes sense. Whereas those guys necessarily haven't. So it totally makes sense. So anyway, I'm excited. Are you using the traditional Torah cycle with your scriptures? Yes. Now you got to remember.
Hi, Wendy.
This show was originally a roundtable on the weekly Torah discussion. It was a roundtable discussion on the weekly Torah portion, and we still do that, but we've expanded and we changed it up. I mean, it's not like cookie cutter. So.
Cool.
I agree, Desiree. I agree, which is why I'm also excited about it, because I think we're tapping into something. We're doing something, and we want to do this every year. Every year we want to provide this, and it won't be like, oh, we're just going to change the dates. No, we're gonna change up the material as well, because the Bible, right? The Word of God is one verse can be expounded upon in a gazillion ways. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Now, the goal is to have it available in time for Hanukkah. I don't know if we're going to be able to meet that, but it will be on or right after Hanukkah. Yeah, it'll be way before Passover. That's for sure.
Hey, Wendy, it's good to have you in on a Tuesday. Last time you were on was a couple of Thursdays. Wendy and her husband Cecil are old friends of ours. We've known for years and years and years. We went to the Lion and Lamb Feast of Tabernacles for years together. So she's great people. Using Midrash. Alan, she's asking, do you use the Midrash?
I saw the question. So are all these new people popping up because you're in here?
Of course.
Well, let me answer this question. Marie, yes, I think the new videos will touch on the devotional aspects of this new publication, as well as cover topics that can help newbies. I think, yes, the idea is for both to take place. So we will be definitely looking at that. So, Midrash, not so much. I mean, we'll let Mark do that when he wants to do that on his own time. I'm
not saying it. This is your time, and you're over, by the way.
Oh, I know. So yeah, I mean, it won't be a traditional midrash. It won't be an existing midrash, and it won't be a rabbinical midrash. But we will be breaking it down and expounding on these things. Yes. Can you talk about Hanukkah a little? Well, in the feast book, we talk about Hanukkah a little, and I'm not sure if you're asking us to talk about Hanukkah a little now on this show. Well, I'll tell you what, we're out of time to do that. But if you want us to talk about Hanukkah, if you're asking for us to talk about Hanukkah on this show before Hanukkah comes up, we can definitely do that.
Very cool. Let me just ask you. So Hanukkah is in your feast book. You talk about Hanukkah a little bit, right?
Yes.
So have we now made Hanukkah one of the Moedim?
No,
Because, I have to wonder. I mean, they made Mary one of the Trinity, so it's like quadrinity now. I'm wondering if Hanukkah, Purim, all
Mary-
of those are. Can we make those part
Mary-
of God's Moedim?
Mary has actually been given the name that was given to Asherah long ago, and that's Queen of Heaven. So that's a little weird. No, I make it. I make it. Do you have my Facebook, Mark?
Oh, I know. I've asked you for it, but you never sent it to me, and I'm not paying for it. So,
Wow. Yeah, neither did Jamie. But if you notice right here, we have all the feasts of Leviticus 23, and then it says, in conclusion, a chapter called In Conclusion, and then the chapter after that it says Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah, Purim. So it's outside of the Leviticus 23 mandated feast, and we actually explain, hey, this isn't mandated, this is traditional, and
hey,
here's why we do it. Not only here's why, here's how we do it. New show title, The Crazy Torah Guys. Oh my gosh. Two crazy Torah guys walk into a bar.
walk onto a show.
But that's what 2.5 Opinions was about. That's what those guys were doing. Why is it so important? Why is what so important? Oh, Hanukkah? I think Hanukkah is important because that's when they say that's probably when Jesus was conceived and he did observe it. So yeah, well, we can talk about it. Oh my gosh, two crazy Torah guys. So no, last week we were two crazy Torah guys with all the gear on. That was nuts. I'm sure we didn't get any comments or backlash. And hey, the show's still on. We weren't pulled from the network because of that. Oh no, here we go. All right, so it's after the top of the hour. I have a sick 3-year-old little boy that I'm going to be taking care of that insisted he spend the night with Saba last night because he needed to spend the night with Saba because he wasn't feeling good. And so he did. So I didn't get a lot of sleep. I had a little 3-year-old boy in bed with me. He sleeps like this, so it's like, little guy, poor little Ariel. So I'll be caring for him today while I work on the new book and try to get the painting going on the studio. So I will be doing this today. Juggle. Little 3-year-old. So I'm going to go let my wife tap out. She's going to go into the office while I go see what my little grandson's up to. Mark, it's been real as usual. What are you doing, dude? You know what? Do you hear that? Look at Mark and you can hear this. It's a deliverance theme. Oh man, it is so downhill right now.
I do my best.
People say Yeshua observed it, and I do not see that. It talks about there's one verse where it says, I think it's in John, Jesus is walking in the city, Jerusalem, and you got to remember, he only went to Jerusalem during the feasts. He was up in the Galilee area, and he never slept in Jerusalem. He always went to Lazarus, Mary, and Martha's house about 2 miles away. The only time he ever spent the night in Jerusalem that we know of, based on the biblical narrative, is the night he spent in Caiaphas's dungeon. Now, why did he not spend the night in Jerusalem? Why did he always go to Caesarea? Where is that where they lived? Why did he always go to Lazarus, Mary, and Martha's house to spend the night? That's weird. I want to know why. But
because there were a bunch of bozos there.
Yeah, a bunch of bozos, Amazonians.
That's what it was.
So it says that he was walking in Solomon's palmade. What's the word there? I can't. Colonnade during the Feast of Dedication. And we know that he was only in Jerusalem during the feast. That's why we believe that. So, hey, thanks, Mark, for hanging out. And Kimberly will be here next week. We'll have her as a special guest. You're welcome to join us as well, Mark. You don't have to disappear just because we have a special guest. And it's way past 9 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. It's the Chameleon Church Show. I am your host, Allan Aguirre, coming to you from Park City, Utah. This was Mark. Mark is, this is his network, and we are grateful to be on it, and we thank you for So, hey, until next week, you guys take care of yourselves, and we'll see you online. Ciao.
You're listening to Chameleon Church. Biblical Antidotes for the Modern Man. With your host, Allan Aguirre.